my landlord got a new type of dumpster from the dumpster company, and I figured this was going to happen. There's 3 juvenile raccoons stuck in this dumpster, and lucky for these coons, they got stuck in the right apartment complex. I kind of figured this would happen. There's a whole gang of raccoons that ravaged this dumpster. I used to park over here on this little slab of concrete, and I made it look like I was piling up garbage next to my vehicle. You see all the stuff they get out of here, and I actually have a little invention in the process. It's called a raccoon rescue rod, or I haven't come up with an official name yet. See all this garbage they bring out? I'm kind of hesitant to actually go through with my idea, because these guys, I figured out, are huge contributors to polluting the ocean. I'll link that video down in the description, where I figured out one day raccoons are putting a lot of plastic in our ocean, which is an enormous problem. What they do is they carry it out of the dumpsters. See all this plastic? See all that back there? Now here, it's not gonna probably find its way to the ocean, but in a lot of the places I was at, it was next to a creek and small streams, and the floodwaters would come through the woods and take it downstream. And the streams around here they're just littered with plastic. So the wind and the water will carry this away to the ocean one day. Probably not this specific batch, but I mean, across the whole country, I can't imagine how bad they're contributing to that. So I'm kind of being hesitant. If I save the raccoons with a little ladder that can be easily put in these dumpsters, then you know, how many other different species of wildlife am I killing, you know, with that plastic? I mean, it's just awful. They're finding birds and animals just filled up with plastic and dying, marine life and stuff. So we've got 3 little juveniles here. Lucky for them, the sun comes up over this building and it goes like this, and they're only in maybe 5 hours of sunlight, and the sun goes down below this tree line, so they're shaded. A dumpster like this sitting out in the intense sun all day, these guys are liable to die from the heat. If the sun were to bake right here, like, you know, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m, that kind of sun on the sides of these walls, even the outsides, these dumpsters, I mean, they become scalding. I can't even leave my arms on them. It might be 200 degrees, this steel, you know, like a hot tin roof. So we're gonna get these guys out of here. You guys are lucky. Yeah, you're lucky. Huh? The dumpster that used to be here was one of the tall square ones, where it had a lid on top, 2 lids on top, and then it had the sliding doors. So the doors, when the doors were open, it was here. And these raccoons, they can't jump. They can only jump about like that, vertical. And the steel walls, of course, there's nothing they can get their fingernails into, and they're just death traps. They're great climbers. As soon as they touch a tree or a fence, I mean, they'll go straight up in an instant. But anyways, there's nothing for them to climb on here, so let's get to business. You probably won't want to do this yourself. I mean, I suppose you could try if you want to, but just don't get your hands near their mouth and you'll be fine, or I'll be fine. I don't want to tell they want to try this, because these little raccoons, they can scare the death out of you. They can make a noise like a wild beast, but they like getting inside his tote. He might just come right in there, watch. He might just crawl right in there. See, like, I'm gonna protect my hands, get those bottles out of the way. I might get 3 for 1 here. There's 1, 2. The main problem I have is getting this plastic, getting the stuff out of the way. without getting bit. These guys are actually little sweethearts. If they don't feel like their lives endangered, they're not gonna fight back. But they can fight back. One of these little tiny ones about this size got a hold of my dog one night and made my dog submiss. I was worried about my dog killing the coon, and the little tiny coon was on top of my dog, and my dog was screaming. So they are capable of fighting back. But I wanted to go 3 for 1, dude. See there too? They like getting in the tote, makes them feel comfortable. Probably reminds them of their home, you know, a burrow or a hauled out tree or something. Come on, dude. But I wanted to go 3 for 1 so they all can go back home together, and I don't want one getting separated. So there he goes. Maybe if I back it off, there he goes. Go. There he goes. I'll get your tail, boy. 3 for 1. Sometimes when they realize they're being moved, they'll try to jump out of here. So I'm gonna try to make them not realize what's going on until I get down here. Okay, now, hey, that's a success there. See how that tote makes them feel comfortable and safe? Go on, dude. I don't want them to get separated. Oh. So much for that philosophy. One went that way, one went that way, and another went that way. So much for getting them all out at once. I was really surprised to see them go that way. There might be another dumpster down there they get in, so it might be part of their territory. They usually will go where they know the closest water source, and raccoons like to live by water sources, is a little pond over in the woods here, maybe an 1/8 mile, and then about maybe a 1/4 mile there's a flood ravine. So I'm pretty sure they're gonna live around there somewhere. Raccoons like to live around water sources, and they dig out this plastic, and they have a habit of taking down close to water sources. If you're interested in that video where I figured out they are polluting the ocean, the video doesn't start out with that premise. I just kind of learned it during the video, so you have to, it's like a ½ hour video or so, you have to watch the whole video. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little short video. They all 3 look to be pretty good. I don't think they're dehydrated yet, so they know where their drinking source is at, I'm sure. But anyways, as always, thanks for watching. Many uses of tote.